Good morning. You join me in the Italian city of Bologna. But it's not Bologna I'm going to explore today, because I'm off to Rimini by train. Well, I've made it to Rimini. It's quite a cloudy day today. When the sun shines, it's still lovely and warm. Rimini is a city located on the east of Italy, in the east of the Emilia-Romagna region. This is just one of 20 administrative regions that make up the country of Italy. Just on the right hand side is the canal. Very pleasant. Do you like towns and cities with water? Especially seeing all the little boats moored up along the side. Very pleasant indeed. But in this video I'm going to take a walk around what remains of Roman Rimini. Rimini was founded in the year 268 BC, as before Christ, or BCE, before the Common Era, as they say in these days. 268 BCE. And I walk through the town and discover as many of the old Roman ruins as I can. Eventually make my way down the old Roman road known as the Decamanus towards the Arch of Augstus. Hopefully we'll visit the castle as well. I do like visiting castles. But the first of the monuments to the Roman era is just up ahead. This gateway is called the Porta Galliana, and it's one of the old 13th century gates into the city of Rimini, and they restored it quite well. It's lovely. First restored by Sigismondo Pandolfo Malatesta between 1417 and 1468, and restored again in more modern times, and they've done a very good job. See all the put-log holes on the sides of the walls, left over from when the gatehouse here was constructed, and nice little bridge going over a bit of water, because this no doubt would have been a water gate of some description. Perhaps an entrance into the city from the water as well as the land, but absolutely delightful here, it really is. And as restored monuments go, ancient monuments, this is one of the better ones that I've seen. Absolutely delightful. Spent quite a few minutes just walking around these ruins, taking a look. I do love Roman ruins, and they don't come more exciting than this. Absolutely brilliant. But the main attraction here, especially for me, is the Tiberius Bridge, and that's just up ahead here. And that's at one end of the Decamanus, which is the Roman north-south road. Any north-south road in a Roman town was known as the Decamanus, and the east-west road was known as the Cardo Maximus. So we've got the Tiberius Bridge at one end and the Arch of Augstus at the other. So let's go and take a look at this bridge, and hopefully we'll find a cafe up there where I can get a coffee. Tiberius Bridge was built over the river Mereccia. It was completed in the year 20 AD. Now, that's 2002 years ago, and it's still here. People are still crossing the bridge, and to walk across a Roman bridge really is exciting. You can still see the remains of the Roman lettering on the bridge, and when it was completed it must have been absolutely amazing. That was an incredible bridge to see. It still is. It was started by Augustus in the year 14 AD and completed by Tiberius just 6 years later. They certainly built things to last in those days. And this bridge stands at one end of the Decamanus, the north-south road here in Rimini. And I shall end the video at the other end of the bridge, at the other end of the Decamanus, by the Arch of Tiberius, by the Arch of Augustus, I should say. Yes, the Arch of Augustus. And on the right here is just a delightful little Italian back street, Via Mereccia. And the architecture down here is just so quaint and picturesque. It's postcard perfect. One of the reasons I love Italy is walking down streets like this. Street that's unchanged in hundreds of years. Absolutely fantastic, the old architecture. Absolutely beautiful. I'll leave you some pictures of the architecture on Via Mereccia. I'm going to go and find a coffee. To take the weight off my feet. Been walking around Rimini for a couple of hours, looking at the Porta Galliana and the Tiberius Bridge. Absolutely fantastic to see that. But I found this little cafe here on the Decamanus. This is the old Roman road, and below me will be the actual Roman road. And I've got a coffee. Oh. That is just so refreshing. It's lovely. And it tastes even better because it's been sponsored. So thank you to Em and Stu, who went on to the Buy Me a Coffee link and purchased me a coffee. And at times like this, I need a coffee. And if you'd like to have a mention on my channel, do as Em and Stu did. And follow the Buy Me a Coffee link, and you too can get a mention on my channel. And I should just mention Em and Stu a little further. I'm sure they won't mind, because they're also YouTubers. They have their own channel, Exploring with Em and Stu, and they visit so many interesting places. Derelict buildings and old World War II sites, airfields, and anything that's hidden in the midst of obscurity, they seem to find it and make an interesting video about it. So I'll leave a link to their channel in the description, and their channel is well worth looking at. I do enjoy watching their videos. So thank you so much for buying me a coffee, and maybe one of these days we'll get to meet up. Oh, that is absolutely lovely. But I'm going to sit here for a few minutes and enjoy my coffee, and then see what else we can discover on the way up to the Roman Arch, and try and find the castle as well. I do like exploring ancient Roman ruins in ancient Roman towns. tombs of Roman Rimini. There's this former house, it's a domus. It used to belong to a surgeon. It's called the Domus del Chirurgo, and it dates from the 2nd century. What's quite remarkable is they found loads of surgeons' tools, and they're on display in the town's museum or city's museum, and some of the finest collection of Roman surgical instruments found in the Roman world. And looking at the mosaics on the floor, the person who owned this house certainly had status within the Roman world, and afforded himself and his family the finer things in life, because to run a house like this wasn't cheap, and just amazing to see it preserved. I haven't seen a Roman house this well preserved since I was in Dorchester in England last year. It's an absolute delight. I'll leave you some photographs of the inside of the Domus, and then we'll head on up towards the castle. This is the Piazza Cavour, and one of the main squares here, main piazzas here in Rimini. There's a very fine statue up ahead. Let's see who this statue is about. Of Pope Paul V. Paul V, yes. Camillo Borghese, yes. Born in Rome in 1550. Became Pope on the 16th of May, 1605, and remained Pope for 15 years and 257 days until his death on the 28th of January, 1621. Very nice to see statues of popes in Italian piazzas. And now let's head up towards the castle, or Castel Sismondo, as it's called here in Rimini. And I've made it to the castle. And wow, what an impressive building it is. It's called Castel Sismondo, and it was built by the Lord of Rimini, a man called Sigismondo Pandolfo Malatesta. What a great name that is. And he actually died here at the castle in 1468. It's only from looking down at the castle from the air that you actually get to appreciate its size. It used to be moated. That was filled in back in 1826. A lot of the outer walls were also knocked down then as well. There's a few old illustrated drawings of what the castle looked like in the years gone by, and looks very impressive indeed. But let's go inside the castle and see what we can discover. area looks as though it might have been part of the castle's outer bailey. You can still see the outer walls and the main body of the keep, the main body of the castle. This is so interesting, it really is. It's quite different to English or Welsh castles, and very different to those you find in Germany. Absolutely wonderful. I think it's also a museum here, so let's wander in and so we can discover inside the castle. Amazing castle to walk around inside. See that history hasn't been kind to the castle because all the floors are all modern steel girders. But the exhibition into Federico Fellini was absolutely wonderful. What a fantastic director, film director he was. Made such memorable films like La Strada back in 1954. La Dolce Vita in 1960, and who can forget his 8.5 back in 1963. He was born on the 20th of January 1920 and died aged 73 on the 31st of October 1993. But even though there wasn't much left of the castle inside, it's very interesting looking at the internal architecture, especially the great gates, entrance gates. And also the prison cells. Found an old prison cell up on the wall. Rather cramped inside. I did have a look. But the door is just so old and a real treat to see. It probably certainly dates back to the early 15th century when the castle was built. But let's see what else we can discover here in Rimini on the way up to the Augustus Arch. Just stopped off this delightful little cafe, and it's called La Dolce Vita, which was the title of one of Fellini's films, released in 1960. And I've ordered a lasagna alla bolognese. I do love my pasta dishes, and this one does look very, very appetizing. I enjoy Italian food wherever I go, but it tastes so much better here in Italy. Whether it's the recipe they use or the atmosphere that surrounds me while I have lunch, they both combine to make a great dining experience. So I'm going to finish my tasty lasagna, wash it down with a little beer, and then head down to the Augustus Arch and take a look at a 2,000-year-old Roman arch. made it to the Augustus Arch. What a fantastic archway this is. Dedicated to the Emperor Augustus, completed in 27 BC. That's before Christ. 27 years before the birth of Christ. Over 2,000 years old. And since that time, people have been walking under this arch, just as I have done. That is just so exciting to think of all the people throughout history, from the Romans to the present day, who have walked through this arch. It really is absolutely fabulous. It's one of the best preserved Roman arches in Europe. I think it actually is the best, most well preserved Roman arch in Europe. It's absolutely amazing. Looking at the top, you can see the remains of the what's left of the Roman lettering right at the very top. Gosh, Senatus Populesque Romanus, people and the Senate of Rome. Yeah, absolutely brilliant. And you can see the other buildings around, the remains of the other buildings around, and the old Roman wall as well, which is just over behind me. Absolutely amazing. I've had a fantastic day here in Rimini, and I must return because my entrance tickets into the castle and to the Domus also include an entry into the associated museums just nearby, and I didn't have time on this day to actually visit those as well, so that's something I want to do for another visit, and also to visit the amphitheatre here as well. Again, I'm not going to get time to visit that, so that's another reason to come back to Rimini. But I've done all the free things today. My budget doesn't allow for too many expensive days out, so I try and do as many free activities as I can, and public statues and historic monuments and ruins is just right up my street. I absolutely love it. Anything Roman, and you've got my interest. But this is where I end this video, so thank you so much for watching, and don't forget to join me again soon for another adventure from somewhere else.